So this will be a quick example of how to combine two images using blending modes. I'm going to start off by doing this by taking my two images and I'm going to pull them out separate from each other, or at least one of them out. I'll grab the move tool, and what I'll do is I'll drag this image on top of the other one. If I just drop it in, it'll be off-centered, but let me find my other image real quick. But if I drag it over and I hold down Shift when I do it, it will center one image over the other. So if they're photographed in the same orientation and the same camera, basically, camera settings, the same resolution, they'll come out exactly the same scale, one on top of the other. And you could do this with multiple images, but to start, it makes more sense to kind of start with one, or two, I should say, one on top of the other, where you change the top one here where it says normal. This is your blending modes. So you can cycle through them and see what they do. And if you just kind of scroll, you'll see them change. Usually screen or multiply tend to have the best effect, although lighten, darken, and perhaps overlay might do some interesting things. So I'm going to post up a handout that kind of explains what the blending modes are doing, how they're combining. But these are all playing with different, essentially layering up together the blacks, or just the whites, or just the color, saturation, the hue, things like that. And it's kind of playing with different types of material or light kind of transmission, essentially as if they were transparencies, one going through the other. So normally I would go with probably lighten, darken. I think lighten works best for this image, although screen is always a close second. So that is basically it. But what you could also do is you could put a blending, or sorry, a mask, a layer mask on the top image, and then you can essentially erase parts. So if I go to my brush tool, and I'll make my brush a bit bigger and probably pretty soft, I could go in here and, for example, oops, I want to paint with black to erase. I could paint with black in here and get rid of, maybe if I don't want it at all on this side of the image, right? Or the other thing is, instead of playing with blending modes, you could leave it on normal, and you could either mask them together with just your, blend them together with just your mask, or even play with opacity to let one shine through the other. If I were to turn off my my mask here and I'm on normal, I can adjust how much I see of the top one. If I lower the opacity of it, you'll see through it more. Or if I keep it up higher, then you'll see more of it. So those are just a few different things to play with.